Welcome to Purity's Discipline Priest Guide. Hopefully after watching this series of 3 videos, you will be well on your way to becoming an excellent healing priest in a raid instance setting. This guide is divided into 6 major sections: talents and glyphs, add-ons and macros, gear selection, basic raid habits, the various roles and duties of a discipline priest, and advanced discipline priest strats. Chapter 1: Talents and Glyphs. Looking ahead to the 3.2 content patch, I see 2 potential main specs for a discipline priest in a raid setting. The 2 are identical, save for 3 points that are placed based on whether or not you are doing more tank healing or more raid healing. The first spec is for tank healing and features 3 points into an improved flash heal, which lowers the cost of their flash heal and increases the critical strike chance on a tank who is below 50% health. This is beneficial because its penance receives a nerf in 3.2, increasing its cooldown time by 2 seconds. In that span of time, you will have to be casting something in order to keep the tank up if you're a primary tank healer. And unfortunately, because of the long cast time of greater heal and its high mana cost, flash heal is usually your best option. Note also that this spec uses the glyph of flash heal for an even greater mana reduction in cost. This basically reduces your flash heal to around 500 mana per cast. My second discipline spec simply shifts those 3 points from improved flash heal and moves them into the holy tree. 1 point is placed into spell warding to open up the 4th tier of the tree to place 2 points into holy reach. This increases the radius of both your holy nova and prayer of healing spells. Glyph of flash heal is replaced by glyph of holy nova to increase the healing power of your holy nova. This is your raid healing spec for the discipline priest. Again, because these specs are so similar, your choice will primarily depend on your own unique raid situation. How many healers do you usually take per raid? What type of healers are they? And what types of jobs are they typically assigned to, or you typically assigned to? Chapter 2: Add-ons and Macros. In this chapter, we'll take a look at a few of the things that I use in my user interface to make healing a little simpler. The most important add-on for any healer to have, in my opinion, is Grid. Grid is a raid frame UI. The amount of information Grid displays can range from everything and anything happening to your raid members to only the specific things that you're interested in as a healer. If you are new to Grid, try to enable or install 1 or 2 things at a time until you get used to them, then add a little more. Once you find that proper balance for you personally, you'll soon discover that Grid is indeed a powerful tool. There are many plugins available for Grid for download. Here are a few that I use: Indicator Corner Text, Mana Bars, Status Grace shows you your grace stack on any particular player. Hostile Unit shows mind controls. HOTS show you the status of your renew on players. Mending shows you who currently has your prayer of mending. Missing buffs. Raid debuff can be customizable for any raid debuff on any raid encounter. And Status Shield, my personal favorite, which attempts to calculate the total amount of absorbs left from either your Power Word Shield or Divine Aegis spells. Here are a few other helpful add-ons that I use for healing. Mixed Scrolling Battle Text I use mainly for the cooldown feature, which plays a sound whenever certain spells come off of cooldown. Quartz is your cast bar that also takes into account latency. Recount Guest Absorbs is a plugin for Recount that allows you to track Power Word Shield, and Divine Aegis amounts in addition to your healing, so you can better compare your healing numbers to other healers. And Surgeon General is the add-on I use for healing assignments in my guild. Even if you're not assigning heals for your guild, you can still use it to save the general healing assignments for boss to boss, so you can kind of refresh yourself if you have trouble remembering. As for macros, they basically fall under two categories for me. First is a mouse over macro, which I make for every single spell that I keybind as far as heals and dispels go. The second category is what I call a static macro, which are basically your special spells that you'll use every once in a while. These are macros or spells that I usually don't put on a keybind, and I simply click when I need them on the UI. Here's the format for your basic mouse over macro. Again, you should use this for every single heal spell in addition to your Dispel Magic and Abolish Disease spell. What these allow you to do is to hover your mouse over a raid frame and cast a heal, rather than having to click a raid frame and choose a particular player before you cast a heal. This eliminates half of the motion, in my opinion, for casting heals on various people, and it really is a time saver, and it becomes quite easy once you're used to it. Here are a few of my favorite static macros. Again, these are spells mainly that you don't use as often, and I typically click on my bar. This first one is a combo of Inner Focus and Divine Hymn. This allows your Divine Hymn to be cast for free and give it the increased 25% chance to crit, which is quite powerful for Divine Hymn. Next, we have a simple macro for Power Infusion. What this does is allows you to type in the name of your top DPS caster in your guild and give you the ability to cast Power Infusion on him without really having to change targets or seek them out. As long as the player is in range, it will be cast and your target will remain the same. Here we have a simple cast sequence macro. It allows you to cast Hymn of Hope to increase your mana by 20% before you cast Shadow Fiend. This allows Shadow Fiend to give you more mana back per hit, and quite often if you use it correctly you'll have a full mana bar afterwards. Finally, this last macro is my favorite. It's a combination of a mouse over macro and a static macro. What it does is it casts Pain Suppression on your mouse over target, but at the same time it whispers that mouse over target that they have Pain Suppression. This is very useful for tanks because often when they're in danger they'll be ready to use their own skills, last stand, whatever it may be, and if they see your message in time it might save them and save a cooldown for later. Thank you for watching, and look for parts 2 and 3 of the guide coming soon.